nice and stable, not bouncing around. What is going on, fellow bears? Papa Bear of Papa Bear Knives here. Today we're going to take a look at a knife or a maker that we have taken a look at in the past. If you read below, I'm pretty sure you know what we're talking about. It's the Nichols Knives Guppy XL, which is this big beast right here. Now, the Nichols knives that we had taken a look at in the past here on the channel was actually the Guppy, which is its little teeny tiny baby brother right here. The Guppy is a kind of a small 3-finger EDC style knife that can really do anything you really want it to do, and it's very comfortable to hold and to handle. However, it's not what you would go out and call a huge camp knife, you know, can do everything camp wise. So I kind of harassed Nick a little bit, me and another feller, and he gave us the Guppy XL. It's a huge difference, right? Major difference. So what we're going to be doing is, that sounded weird. What we're going to be doing is taking a look at the Guppy XL. I really like this knife. I really like the size. It is a great size for camp craft. It's a great size for bushcraft. It's got a really good feel. Now, there is one thing that I would like to see different, and I have told him already, and that is just a single flat spot on the spine. As of right now, there is no striking of any ferro rods. There is no using it to get any kind of tinder or anything like that. But it will feather a stick like it's nobody's business. This thing, let me tell you, besides the fact that it can chop like a beast, it can also feather a stick like a beast. So that is definitely a huge, I don't know what, but it's a huge thing for me. Leave me alone. I can't think straight today. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We'll put in our specs right after this, and we'll go straight into the usage. You know, the normal batoning, chopping, feather sticks, and like I said, we can't scrape a ferro rod, so you know that's not going to be possible. However, if he makes more of these in the future, which I'm sure he will, if you just flatten this spot out right here, it'd be perfect. And it would also give your thumb a little something more to rest on as well. Not everybody likes to put their thumb on the spine of a knife, but I do. I'm weird like that. I like to be able to use that spine. Everybody's like, I don't want to get stabbed when you're feathering, but you know what? I like it. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the specs. I've rambled for too much, and let's get to it. Ball tree is, it's got to go. So either way, see, the Guppy XL makes quick work with chopping, especially on wet, or well, living wood, green wood. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Wet wood. That's what she said. Hit it from the other side, and it'll come down even more. One of the things that I really like about the Guppy XL is that large pommel swell. because it really allows you to lock in for your swinging, for your chopping. You guys see what I'm chopping? Kinda. Let me clear out some more leaves here. All this leaves covered in chicken poop. Try to get it to stick. Like mic drop. How about knife drop? Alright, one more thing we'll do real quick is we'll just take all the branches off of this. You know, if you were to take this out as a hunting knife and you needed to clear a shooting lane or something like that, it'll definitely handle clearing branches out of your shooting lane. And really, with how well Nick does his edges, it doesn't take that much effort to chop the branches off. So, pretty quick work if you need to make a shooting lane. So before we get back over to the stump, I wanted to take a second to talk about the sheath. And I do want to make this quickly. It's a leather hip sheath that you'll get with the Guppy XL, I believe. It's made by Joe Fu. If you know anything about knives or just the community in general, you'll know Joe Fu makes incredibly amazing sheaths. Like, his leather work is phenomenal. I couldn't ever, I've had a couple of his sheaths come and go. Obviously this one's gonna stay, and every single one that's come in, they're just beautiful. Now they do cost a little bit of money, I will say that, but you are seriously getting what you pay for when you get a Joe Fu sheath. So when you're getting a Nichols knife, you're getting a Joe Fu leather sheath as well. Ow! Stabbed myself. So it fits in, nice hip carry, works out perfectly, and it's actually very comfortable to have on your hip, on your belt. Over the years of doing this, I have learned that you shouldn't push your knife to the limits when it comes to batoning. You know, baton within your knife's means. Now this piece of wood right here, it's just a tad bit bigger than what I would like to do, because I'm putting a lot of stress and pressure on the tip as a baton. But we're going to do it anyway, because I couldn't find anything smaller in my wood pile. Ow, hit my hand. Man. This knife is trying to get me, guys. Man, that thing was tough. All right, let's do a little bit more. There's no bugs in there. Alright, let's go ahead and do some feathers real quick. I'm just squaring that out. I don't know why, but I like my wood being square. Feathered. Weird. Alright. I'm done playing. Now, I won't fill up this whole stick. I'll do a few just so you guys have a good example of what you're working with here. So like I said, I can't start any kind of fire with the ferro rod using the spine of the knife because it is rounded. And he may not want to square it out for people to use it with a ferro rod, and that's perfectly fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, there's tons of makers out there that'll round their spines just because they don't believe in a ferro rod being started with a knife. And I get that. I guess that's partly what happens when you start up buying a whole bunch of LTWKs. They square out all their spines, and I've just gotten so used to having squared spines and kind of, I guess the word would be correlating that with bushcraft style knives or camp style knives. But it's not necessarily necessary to have with a knife. And like I said, I like to put my thumb up top because it gives me a little bit more leverage. And it's just a more comfortable way for me to feather. But when it's rounded up here, it kind of makes me want to slip off to one side or the other. However, though it is rounded and it makes me want to slip, it's much more comfortable on your thumb than, let's say, a squared spine that has sharp edges. Anyway, how far in are we on this part? Oh, 2.5. Well, you see what I'm doing here. You see the feathers that this thing produces. Produces really nice, really fine feathers. So the last thing we're going to do is a little bit of carving. Carves out a point pretty well. Let's don't really need to round this, but I will. Put a little notch in it. Gets in there pretty good and deep. Quick work for a tent stake if you need it. I know that's our bushcrafting go-to, but it's a good method. Oops. Anyway, that is the Nichols Knives Guppy XL. I don't think he has these listed on his website. However, I will put a link to his group down below, so you can go and check out his group, join his group. He does raffles in there quite often, and hey, to get a knife like this at a $20 chance, that's how I actually gotten all of mine. So I definitely recommend checking out the Nichols Knives Insiders group. I will put the link below in the description box. I will also put the link to his website below in the description box if you want a Guppy XL. Like I said, they're not on his website until maybe after I send him this video. They might be on there, who knows. But if you want one, shoot him a message, and I'm sure he could probably figure out a way to get you one. And if there's enough interest, I'm sure he'll start popping them up left and right. I really do like this knife. It's a ton of fun. And hey, if you ever had to use this for you know what, I promise it's gonna do it very well. And oh yeah, if you want to use this in the kitchen, forget about it. It's gonna be perfect in there just as well. So anyway, thank you for watching and checking out Papa Bear Knives and checking out Nichols Knives Guppy XL.